By the fall of 2018, Darren Till was set to be the next face of British MMA. The Scouser was unbeaten in 18 fights and thrust to the top thanks to his dynamic striking and brazen trash talk. What should have been his crowning moment instead proved to be a turning point, as a mix of injuries and higher-level competition sent the Brit's career into a nosedive. Today, we look at how Liverpool's finest was left to walk alone. Welcome to the INC, and today we ask, what happened to Darren Till? Darren Till's road to the octagon was more wayward than most British fighters. Till's combat career began at the age of 12, when he began training in Muay Thai before dropping out of school to pursue the sport full-time. In 2012, Till was involved in a nightclub altercation that saw him stabbed twice in the back, the knife wound barely missing his main artery, with doctors deeming him lucky to be alive. At the advice of head coach Colin Heron, Till relocated to Brazil to train with the Astra fight team in Santa Catarina. It was there that Till made his first venture into MMA, making his debut for the Sparta MMA promotion, beating Luciano Ribeiro by unanimous decision. Outside of a sole outing in Argentina, Till's early career was spent entirely in Brazil, making comfortable work of his regional opponents. The combination of his range management and striking power proved too much to overcome. By 2015, Till had amassed a 12-0 record, with all but 2 of his wins coming via stoppage. But it didn't take long for the UFC to take interest in the 23-year-old, stepping in on short notice to face Wendell Oliveira at Fight Night Goiânia. Till would win his debut by second-round stoppage, and over the next 2 years emerged as an entertaining, albeit raw prospect on international fight nights. His wide stance and lightning-quick straight left drew comparisons to Conor McGregor, even if his grappling and striking defense raised plenty of question marks. While Till remained unbeaten in this time, the first signs of fracture started to emerge, suffering a shoulder injury against Nicholas Dalby that forced him out of action for 2 years, injuries becoming a dominant part of Till's later career. By 2017, Michael Bisping had begun winding down his Hall of Fame career, and the UFC singled out Till to take his place as the British face of the sport. Their first step towards his coronation came that October, when Till took on Donald Cerrone in the main event of Fight Night Gdańsk. For all his achievements, Cerrone was noted for his aversion to forward pressure, and Till exploited the veteran's weakness by sniping him with his left before finishing with strikes against the fence. The win brought Till to the welterweight top 10 for the first time, and it didn't take long for the UFC to strike while the iron was hot. In May 2018, Till was given a main event slot against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, taking place in Till's hometown of Liverpool. The match, however, was placed in jeopardy, as Till weighed in for about 4 pounds above the welterweight limit, with Wonderboy vowing to withdraw should Till weigh over 190 pounds after rehydration. While Till adhered to his opponent's demand, it left a black mark over what should have been a defining moment for the fighter. What was expected to be a striking classic instead proved a cagey chess match, as Till's slow pace conflicted with the counter-striking style of Thompson. A knockdown in the middle of the 5th proved pivotal, as Till claimed a unanimous decision, having beaten the kickboxing legend at his own game. With a ravenous crowd hanging on his every word, Till was ready to call his shot on welterweight's biggest stars. At least I think he did.
Fucking everyone and anyone, I don't care. I'm not scared of anyone. Yeah, people asking me, you might deserve a title shot after this fight. No, I fucking won't. I haven't beat anyone. I need to beat all these. They're all getting it.
The Thompson win launched Till into the big time, as media outlets, even those outside MMA, wanted a piece of the working-class hero backing up his brazen trash talk. To most fans, however, Till was still considered a few steps away from a title fight. A lack of top-level opponents and the crowning of interim champion Colby Covington meant the Brit had to wait in line for a shot at the belt. The UFC, however, weren't willing to wait that long. Just a month after winning the belt, the UFC stripped Covington of his interim title, paving the way for Till to face welterweight champion Tyron Woodley at UFC 228. It would not be the last time the UFC bypassed an interim belt to make the match that they wanted. Woodley entered the match as one of the most reviled champions in UFC history, thanks to his tepid title defenses over Stephen Thompson and Damian Maia, leading some to believe Till had been fast-tracked with the explicit aim of taking the belt off the chosen one. Till entered the match as a slight favorite over Woodley, but the bright lights proved too much for the 25-year-old. Woodley neutralized Till's striking in a grappling-heavy first round, before dropping his opponent in the early stages of the second. Till would land just one strike during the entire bout, as Woodley finished his overmatched opponent with a Darce choke. The fight emboldened those who felt Till had been fast-tracked too early for his skill set, as well as denting the confidence of a man whose aura had been built around his self-belief. While the UFC were disappointed with the result, they weren't willing to halt the Till Express just yet, and set about finding a drop in competition to get the Brit back on track. 8 months after the Woodley loss, Till returned to action against journeyman fighter Jorge Masvidal, who was fighting for the first time in over a year, having competed in a reality TV show in his absence. Till appeared seemingly dismissive of his veteran opponent, his biggest feud during fight week coming against co-main fighter Leon Edwards, with the two men locking horns during the pre-fight press conference.
If a man's calling me out for about a year now, I'm fighting him.
Mate, I got Masvidal here to worry about. I'm not worrying about you, mate. You need to worry about Gunnar, because he's going to tap you out.
You're tapping me out. You're tapping me out.
We'll see.
My life, mate.
You'll get your beating this year, don't worry.
Does anybody have the Wi-Fi password?
Till adhered to the fight script by dropping Masvidal in the opening seconds, only for the veteran to recover and start finding holes in the Brit's notoriously flawed defense. It led to an inevitable outcome midway through the second round. Masvidal used the win to propel him to one of the biggest 12-month runs in UFC history, while Till was forced to return to the drawing board, the focus shifting from whether he could become welterweight champion to if he should even be in the division at all. Till had always been known as one of the biggest weight cutters in the UFC, often joking he was a light heavyweight fighting at 170, and many felt the toll taken to reach the limit had started to affect his performance. This gained further mileage when footage was released of Till's weight cut prior to his match with Thompson, during which the fighter admitted he started going blind due to the stresses placed on his body. Further issues came outside the cage, when Till was arrested for trashing a hotel room and stealing a taxi while on holiday in Spain, receiving a €10,000 fine for his actions. When Till returned to action later that year, he did so as a middleweight, edging former title challenger Kelvin Gastelum in a clinch-heavy bout at UFC 244, a card ironically headlined by old rival Masvidal. This earned the Brit a match with Robert Whittaker at UFC Fight Island. While Till dropped the Australian in the first round, he ultimately proved second best to the former champion, although the close nature of the bout meant Till saw little damage to his middleweight stock. What did hurt, however, were injuries. In the later years of his tenure, Till became noted for his tendency to withdraw from fights, as constant knee and shoulder issues limited him to 4 matches in 4 years. Planned bouts with Jack Hermanson and Marvin Vettori fell by the wayside, while an altercation with a police officer at a gas station further hurt his standing amongst fans.
Why am I at my local garage getting water and he's coming out asking me about a mask? And I said to him, mate, I'm exempt. He said, have you got proof? I said, I've got no proof right now, no. Okay, so let me on my way then. Is that how bad a pet? What is it? What is it? Mate, go away. Go away now.
Till finally returned in 2021 for a main event match with Derek Brunson, but fans were quickly taken aback by his appearance. Once known for his lanky frame, Till entered the match noticeably bloated, following weeks of social media posts that showed the fighter seemingly out of shape. It led to a foregone conclusion, as Brunson took Till down on multiple occasions before finishing the fight by submission. Till had now lost 4 of his past 5 fights, and with injuries and motivation working against him, the Brit quickly found himself with his back against the wall. Till found an unlikely ally in wolf ticket salesman Hamzat Chimaev, who invited the fighter to train with his All-Stars gym in Sweden. While the grappling-heavy gym would improve Till's wrestling, it did little to help his ailing body. A second attempt to book a match with Jack Hermanson fell through after Till withdrew following a knee injury, no doubt exasperated by his gym's notoriously hard sparring sessions. After 15 months on the sidelines, Till returned to action at UFC 282, where he'd face a litmus test in the South African wildcard, Dricus du Plessis. Speaking prior to the fight, Till admitted the pressure was on him to deliver a strong result.
It's hard to explain in full what a fighter thinks about after stuff like this, and then obviously when he's on the high. I have fought the best fighters there is to fight in the world. So does that put me at the elite? Yes, it does. You get beat, you're still elite, of course. I put everything into this camp, so I can only go out there Saturday night and perform. You know, I'm not motivated by fame or money. I'm motivated by something totally different, so I'm just going to go out there and have a good fight.
Till's plan, however, quickly went south, being taken down almost immediately and suffering several minutes of fence strikes in a one-sided opening round. While Till showed signs of life in the second, he continued giving up takedowns with alarming ease, before eventually succumbing to DDP's grappling midway through the third. While the bout earned Till a Fight of the Night bonus, it came at the expense of a torn ACL, and soon after the Brit waved the white flag in the battle against his body. Despite still being on good terms with the UFC, Till requested the company release him in February 2023, having won just one fight in the 5 years since his title match with Woodley.
Let me just put it to you this way. Darren Till's not the only guy that's ever come to us and said, I just can't compete here anymore. He's the guy that we've had a great relationship with. We really like him, and obviously we wish him the best. And if he gets to a level where he thinks he's ready to come back to the UFC, yeah, we would probably do it.
Although linked to matches in bare knuckle and karate combat, Till has not fought in combat sports since, although has expressed interest in returning to the UFC once his health issues have been resolved. Ironically, Till's plight came at the same time Leon Edwards began his rise up the UFC ladder. The man Till mocked in London 4 years earlier had taken his place as the face of British MMA. On paper, Darren Till's downfall is nothing to write home about. Young prospects derailed by injuries are commonplace in all sports, but that, however, shields some of the bigger issues in the fighter's game. Till was always seen as a one-dimensional fighter, and against higher-level competition, his weaknesses became exposed, especially when he no longer had a size advantage to bail him out. The Darren Till experience was an affable yet surreal one for as long as it lasted. Luckily for the UFC, they already have another Gabi Scouza ready to take his place. This is the INC. Please like, share, subscribe, post your feedback in the comments, and ring the bell so you never miss another video, and you never walk alone.